Hello, bosses, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Andrea Patrick, the BU Boss, and you are in the right place. If you want to learn how to be a more efficient, effective, and aware leader, that is what we're doing here on this channel. And today I'm sharing with you 3 tips that I use to grow my business organically and fast. So if that is something that you want to see, definitely stick around and watch. If you haven't already, if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I am giving myself a huge challenge to grow to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and you can be a part of that. So make sure you hit that subscription button and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're always notified when a new video comes out. Now let's go ahead and get to today's video. All right, so today we are talking about what you can do right now to get your business growing. If you're like me in any way, shape, or form, you are already checking out other YouTube channels and other people's groups, and you're probably taking webinars and all types of trainings and things of that nature. So I'm sure that you have a plethora of information to weed through, and a lot of it has to do with how to operate on social media and how to do an email list and how to do all these different things. But today I want to talk to you about what you personally can do to grow your business right now, how you can really begin to affect change in your business and do it in a way that is authentic to you, and it just makes so much sense and it just makes life so much easier. First thing that you can do right now to start seeing some business growth is to think about how you can give the majority of your clients what they need with the least amount of energy. What I mean by this is, if you have a service-based business or if you have a product that you are selling to your customers, what can you do? What can you provide them? When you think about most asked questions or frequently asked questions, when you think about the biggest problems that people have, when you look at what you find yourself doing repeatedly in your business that you could just sort of put down somewhere, that's what I mean. How can you take that information and begin to collect it all together and set it up so that you are providing your customer base with what they need, the majority of your customer base with what they need, without having to exert so much energy in repetition? So what that could look like is a guide, a checklist, a webinar. These are things that you can take all of those questions that people have been asking you, all of those challenges that you've been trying to help people fix one-on-one, summarize all of that into one thing and offer it up. And so then the next time someone is asking you about X product or X service, or they want to pick your ear or pick your brain, send them to that thing, that guide, that checklist, that webinar, so that you can answer that question for the most amount of people and not have to exert so much energy repeating yourself over and over and over again. If you don't have something like that in place, it is very valuable in the sales funnel process when you get to that point in your business. So it would behoove you to go ahead and start grabbing that now and learning how to create those types of things now. And it really does affect how you begin to create. If you are a service-based business, or let's say you create a custom product or something along those lines, then if you know that you're servicing or you are solving a certain problem, and maybe the problem is one that, is obviously one that everybody faces in your target audience or struggles with in some way, maybe provide some guidance into how to prevent the problem, or maybe provide some information about how it starts in the first place, so that people can begin to answer some of those questions and prevent some of the problems before they ever need your product, but you still add value to them with the guide, with the checklist, with the workbook or whatever, or the webinar. So the first thing is, think about how you can give the majority of your customers what they need with the least amount of energy. That's what you can do. The first thing you can do right now to start seeing some business growth. You may not see sales specifically from this immediately, but what it does is it grows your database of people. Imagine if you were in the grocery store. I've used this analogy before with my check writing ring from Premier. You're in the grocery store, you're standing in line, you see someone who has on a beautiful necklace, right? And you're like, oh wow, that necklace is pretty. You compliment it. Or let's say you walk in and on the flip side of that, you have on a beautiful necklace and someone says to you, wow, that necklace is gorgeous. I love that necklace. Then you can say, oh, well, you could have this necklace. I sell them. You can definitely have it. If you give me your name and email address, I'll go ahead and send you a catalog, a virtual catalog, or I'll send you some information. It's the same concept. If you're out and about and you provide marketing services and you happen to go to a networking event and someone is talking about how they are struggling to get in front of the right audience, or they say something like, oh my God, I just don't like social media. I don't know how it works. That is an opportunity to say, oh, well, I've got a guide. I've got a great guide that can help you with that. It's so easy to follow. Let me have your email list and I'll send it to you. Again, you're maximizing your value by having something already prepared that will help the majority of the people in your target audience, but you've had to exert very little energy. So again, the first thing you can do when you are trying to grow your business right now is to think about how you can service the majority of your customers without exerting too much energy. So that creating a guide, creating a checklist, creating a webinar, something that in conversation, just organic conversation, you can offer up to them that will answer some of their questions, but at the same time, you're gaining an email address or a phone number or some sort of contact information that you can then send information to via your emails, your newsletter, or things like that. And that is how you can grow your business. That's number one. Number two is you can ask a single question that yields a plethora of content opportunity. That's the second thing you can do right now. I think I mentioned to you in another training how I did market research when I was working with a girlfriend at her booth at a small business expo. And I had one sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper, I just asked the question, what is your biggest marketing struggle? I got 50 to 60 replies just from that time. I did it again in New York, but I did it in Texas here. And I got about 50 or 60 responses just that time. But what you notice is when you get that many responses is that each of those responses falls into one or two or three or four categories. Somebody could be saying that they struggle in a certain area, but it falls in line with they don't really understand how to use social media, okay? Or someone could be saying something else and it falls in line with they don't know how to capture or to reach their right target audience. So when you ask this one question, you get a plethora of information about what your target audience needs. And from that plethora of information, what ends up happening is you begin to categorize those needs. So if you have 60 different responses or 100 different responses, and you can break those down into 3 different categories, now you know what you need to be talking about for your content. So that is how you can grow or propel your business forward right now, by asking a single question, getting the answer to that question from as many people as possible. So what can that look like for you? Does that look like you attend a lot of virtual networking events right now in this time of COVID? And when you get there and you do your 30-second pitch, instead of talking about like all the products and services that you won't be able to sell in a single pitch, ask an important question. I have a 3-2-1 formula for how to do your 30-second pitch, and that's over on my YouTube channel, Andrea Patrick Official. Check it out. Shameless plug. But anyway, it's 3-2-1 formula for your 30-second pitch. But instead of saying, hey, I've got this great product, or hey, I provide this great service, say, I've got one simple question for you, X, and you ask the question and say, I would love for you guys to come up to me at the end of this presentation or DM me the answer to this one question. That's how you could get some content that you then give the answers to that content back in your social media posting. And guess what? People feel like, wow, she really knows my problem. Wow, she's really answering what I need to hear. And then that attracts them to you. And that's another way that you can grow your business. The third thing that you can do right now to grow your business, and these 3 things, if you notice, are not paid things. You do not have to spend one dime. You do not have to have a budget for these things that I am telling you to do today that will help you grow your business right now. If you start implementing these things in your business right now, you will begin to see growth when you do them consistently in your business. And growth in your business, guys, I want you to understand this. It does not always mean tons and tons of extra money in your pocket. Growth in your business means sometimes that you gain exposure to people that you would not have gained exposure to in the past. It sometimes means that you will grow your referral base because you touched one person, and that one person is giving you the referrals for you to continue to grow your business. I want you to make sure you have the right mindset when we're thinking about growing your business. These 3 things will help you do that. The third thing is determine if you want to hook or hunt. And what I mean by hook or hunt is if you are someone who wants to hook your client. These are people looking for information, and you hook them with your content. So I just talked to you about that one simple question that you can ask to get people to tell you what they need to know so that you can categorize it and give it back to them in your content. So if you are someone who wants to hook, then what you want to do is you want to provide such great content that people are attracted to you, and then you can hook them with things like they can join your email list to get more information. You need to be on a platform for this particular one to hook. You need to be on a platform where people are searching for answers. You want to be on a search engine like YouTube or Pinterest. Believe it or not, I don't know if you know, but Pinterest is an amazing search engine. Think about it. Where do you go when you need a recipe? And what do you type in? How to make a chicken Instant Pot meal. So that is a search engine. If you go to YouTube, what are you looking up? How to operate this particular software or how to fix this particular problem. So if you want to hook someone, you want to be on a platform where people are looking to get questions answered and they are asking the question. Now, are you the type of person who is a hunter? Do you want to hunt? Well, here is, you're a salesperson and you enjoy the thrill of the solicitation. You love asking people for the business. So if you want to hunt, you would do well on platforms where you can showcase your product or your service and wait for your audience to share or like or comment, at which point you can then like slide in their DMs and be like, hey girl, hey, I see you liked my post. You know, I've got something great for you. If you like that, you'll love this. Or, hey, I went on your feed and I love what you're saying and what you're doing. I think we have great synergy. You might consider, maybe being on my podcast, or you might consider this product that I have or this service that I have. So if you are a hunter, you're spending time actually like in social media down in the weeds, and you're actually going after the sale. You're in networking groups and you're really actively looking for and engaging with the right audiences. And you're like, say, hey, you got your calls to actions ready to go. And you are actively pursuing people, clients, customers. I understand I'm probably going to get some people in the comments that say, well, I kind of do a little bit of both. I get that. Okay. Well, you are just an outdoorsman. That's sort of how I categorize you. You're about the hooking and you're about the hunting, but you're strategic about when you do them. That is absolutely fine. I think I would consider myself that person as well when it comes to certain aspects of my business. When it comes to my podcast, I will certainly be the hunter. I will see someone who likes my content and I'll be like, look at her feed. Oh, wow. Okay. She would be an excellent guest on my podcast. Absolutely right. Yes, ma'am. You might as well know I'm going to be over in your DM saying, girl, I love what you have going on in your feed. And I've got a community over here that would love to learn more about it. Would you consider being on my podcast? Yes, that is me. But I am also the person who likes to provide a ton of information, which hence this webinar. I love to share content with people. When I learn something, I want to share it with you, and I offer it up in things like webinars and my guide, which again, I will be posting in the comments below to help you for those of you who are DIYers, or you just need a little information. You just need to find that one little nugget that gets you started and on your way to growing your business. That's me also. And that's kind of where I prefer to be. I prefer to give value. And then, here I've got these products. If my giving wasn't enough, I would, here's how you can get more type thing. That's definitely my favorite way to share my business and share my products and services with people. But to each his own. So the three things, I'll go back over them again, just so you know what they are. If you are looking to grow, like right now, if you want to implement these three things, your business will grow. And with everything, guys, it is consistency. You have to be consistent with them. It's not something that you're going to do today and then boom, blow up. It is something that you can start implementing in your business right now and begin to see growth. Now, can you go in and start, create a guide and get that on social media today and start seeing people in your inbox? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, that can happen for you. If you can get that strategy together quickly, absolutely, you can begin to get people in your inbox or opting into your email list so that you can provide that extra value to them via email marketing for sure. So the first thing is think about how you can give the majority of your audience what they need and exert the least amount of energy. Again, a guide, a checklist, doing webinars, things like that. The second thing is ask a single question. Start doing some market research. Ask a single question so that you can optimize your content strategy. If you get that one question answer, and really think about the question, because you want the question to yield you the right types of answers for your business, especially for whatever it is you're doing. So definitely figure out that one question and then ask it to everybody. You can weave one question into an organic conversation very easily. But if you're on social media, think about it. If you DM someone, if you're a hunter, think about it. You can go in there and be in people's DM asking that one question in your stories, on Facebook Messenger, whatever. You can get those questions answered. And I did create a Google spreadsheet, a Google sheet, and I would put the answers in there so that I could begin to see, I can visually see it, not just hear it, but see it, go back to it and look at it. And then the third thing is to determine whether you are a hooker or you are a hunter. And I don't mean hooker the wrong way. Get your mind out of the gutter, guys. Whether you like to hook or you like to hunt, or if you are just an outdoorsman and you like them both, but you know how to strategize. A hook, if you're a person that likes to hook, then the people that you are talking to are looking for information and you want to hook them with your content. And that's where you're going to be on a search engine type platform. Or if you're more of a hunter, you're willing to go out and solicit for what you want, get that business, go out there and really hustle. And so when people are liking or sharing or commenting, you are kind of jumping on that in their DMs and really sharing with them your value in that way. Outdoorsman is someone who does it both, but they do them strategically for their business because they know what works best for them. Another reason why developing a personal brand is so important. So listen, if you like this, you enjoyed it, and you want more of this type of information, or if you can think of something that you want me to talk about, leave that in the comments or DM me if you don't want to leave it in the comments, and I will work it in. There is a fantastic interview with Michelle Seiler Tucker of Seiler Tucker Incorporated. She is a mergers and acquisitions professional. She owns tons of businesses, and she helps businesses grow, build, sell, and buy. People do those things. And she gave a plethora of information in the podcast. And so it's definitely worth listening to. It's a longer podcast, so it's one you might want to listen to when you've got a little bit of time, or, you can kind of listen to it in bits and pieces. But be sure that you leave a comment or a review so that we know how much you like the material and we can continue to add more. Okay, great, right? Great tips. I bet you never thought about some of them because you just don't think of them as being activities that can grow your business fast. I'm sure you've probably heard all of them as they relate to a sales funnel or networking, but you've never really put them all together to create a strategy for yourself that can grow your business organically and fast. Make sure you take all of those little tips and tricks that I gave you in this week's video and put them to good use. But until next time, please go ahead, hit that subscription button and the notification bell so that you never miss an episode. And then join me again next week. New videos every Saturday with vlogs coming up soon. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you next week.